Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I am, and I hope you are too. Today, I want to talk a little bit about fasting and the many health benefits of fasting. Growing up, I used to hear the older people talk about fasting, but they really fasted for spiritual reasons. They would have a day of fasting when they didn't eat any solids. Some people didn't drink anything, not even water, for a whole 24 hours. And they generally meet at church and they would pray all day. And there were many reports of breakthroughs that people had. You know, there were people that were ill, that they were being prayed for during the fasting and they were healed. Many healed situations or situations that turned around as a result of the fasting and prayer. Fasting is depriving ourselves of something for a specific period of time. And I have learned over the years that one can fast from food or anything else. One can fast from electronic device, which many of us need to fast from. We're constantly attached to our telephones. You can fast from the internet. You can fast from television. You can fast from anything. But it seems as though the most effective is the food fast because we're quite allergic. We're quite addicted to foods, and food fasting is beneficial for our spiritual well-being, psychological well-being, and or definitely our physical well-being. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, we have incorporated a kind of a fast in our lifestyle for the last year or so. We primarily eat one meal a day. Primarily. And I say primarily because once in a while I'll feel like having a little oatmeal in the morning and I'll have some. But I find that when I fast, like after I have dinner, usually between 2 and 3, I don't eat anything until the next day between 2 and 3. I find that I have a lot more energy. A lot more energy. And I have to say, the first few times it was a little difficult. I was feeling a little lightheaded and stuff. But as I did some research, I found that it's because my body is ridding itself of toxins. That's the main reason for that dizziness and lightheadedness, a little bit, that I experience. But now I don't feel that way. And so that's the kind of fast that we do in our household most times. And I would say perhaps out of the 7 days of the week, perhaps 5 of them are like that, where we eat dinner, we eat a nice big dinner, and then we don't eat anything else again until the next day at dinner time. Fasting, I find, clears my mind and helps me to be able to focus. My brain isn't foggy. I feel more clear in my brain and in my mind. I have more energy. Like I told you, I exercise and do whatever it is I would normally do if I ate during my fasting days. And I have more energy than if I had eaten. In fact, what I have found is that if I want to have a little oatmeal and if I have a whole cup of oatmeal, I am totally sluggish for the day. So for the most part, I don't bother with anything in the mornings because it really doesn't energize me, doesn't make me feel any better. Fasting helps to regulate our blood sugar and regulates the insulin in our blood sugar. Fasting helps us to lose weight and overall just strengthens our bodies. The thing is that during the time when we're fasting, say at night, for those of you who eat during the day, but you fast at night for 8 hours or 12 hours, that's the time when the body does the repairing and the strengthening at night. That's when the body repairs itself. And during the time when we're eating, the body nourishes itself. And then during the time when we're fasting, the body uses that nourishment, that food, to repair itself. So it's very important that we have periods of time when our body is fasting. Like at night, we really shouldn't be getting up at night and eating, and we really shouldn't eat for a few hours before we go to sleep. It is actually a good habit to go to bed a little bit hungry. You might notice that if you eat at night, when you get up in the morning, your belly looks big. That's because it is. Because if we eat at night and then go to sleep, we gain weight. But if we don't eat at night and we go to sleep, we lose weight. It's a phenomenal thing, but it is true. So what I try my best after I have dinner at 3 o'clock, I used to have a little snack, but I've even stopped doing that because I would feel so full just from having some nuts or even a fruit, half of a fruit. I would go to bed feeling full, and I would get up the next morning feeling full, and it wasn't a good feeling, and I know it cannot be good for me. So when I eat my dinner, a good, nice, healthy dinner, I don't eat anything till the next day at dinner time, and I have a lot of energy, and I'm better able to maintain my weight. Like I said, my mind is clearer. My immune system is better also, because as I overeat, I find that my immune system is not the best. Like I said, when we're fasting is when our body repairs itself. So it makes sense that fasting boosts our immune system. Now, one can fast 1 meal, 2 meals, or 3 meals. Say, for example, one could say, okay, I'm not going to have after dinner at night. Most people, I think, have dinner 7 o'clock or so. So one could say, after dinner at night, I'm not going to eat anything until lunchtime the next day. So you would have fasted from breakfast. One can also say, after dinner, I'm not going to eat anything until dinner the next day. So one would have fasted from breakfast and lunch. Or sometimes you can say, okay, I'll have breakfast, but I won't have lunch. Or I'll have lunch, but I won't have dinner. So we can fast from 1 meal, 2 meal, or all 3 meals. Fasting could also be like a liquid fast, where we have liquids. Like for 24 hours or 18 hours or 16 hours or 12 hours, all we have is liquids. Teas. Some people drink coffee, which I discourage having much coffee. I think 1 cup of coffee a day is more than enough for us, because coffee is acidic and makes our bodies acidic and mucousy. And so you can do a liquid fast where you have clear liquids, water, teas, a little bit of coffee. You can do full liquids fast, where you have milk, juices, smoothies, things like that. But essentially, you're resting your gut from the heavy food for 24 hours, 18 hours, 16 hours, 12 hours, whatever the number of fast is. As a general rule, though, we should be fasting ourselves for at least 12 hours at night. So if we eat, say finish dinner at 7, it's really not a good idea to put anything in our stomach until at least 7 the next day. Okay? Certainly if you have health issues, you should be consulting with your physicians before doing any fast. But I'm just sharing my personal experience that fasting has been very beneficial for me. Um, One thing too is when I fast with just liquids, my bowel moves freer also. So, and you know that a clean bowel is more conducive to a healthy overall body. So, those are a few of the health benefits of fasting, the physical benefits of fasting, but also when one fasts, one could incorporate some prayer with the fasting. And as we know, prayer and fasting works. Those of us that are Christians, and the Bible talks often about prayer and fasting. I find it very, very effective. There's something that we really desire, or something that's going on in our lives, and we need a breakthrough, we need a change. Prayer and fasting is definitely a way to go. Okay, so it helps us physically, emotionally. Fasting and prayer decreases anxiety and stress and depression. Because, of course, if our bodies are better, then emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually, we'll be better. Okay, so just wanted to share that with you. You could try fasting, fasting from one meal. Say, for example, skip breakfast, or just have a smoothie or shake or something for breakfast. At first, it's a little difficult, but with time, it gets better. Overall, we eat too much. And I was doing some research, and I found out that some of the most brilliant minds in this world, when they're ready to do like speeches, you know, I guess the presidents and the kings and whoever, these politicians, for example, these big business people, when they're ready to do speeches, they fast. They don't go eat a big breakfast and then go talk, because they cannot focus. So if when they're ready to do speeches and talks and lectures and stuff like that, they fast. They don't eat breakfast, or they don't eat lunch. They'll drink liquids, and then they'll be more clear-minded and be able to remember their speech much better than if they had eaten, especially if you eat junk food. If you notice, when you eat junk food, you tend to feel tired and groggy and sleepy after eating. And you know, even healthy carbs, you feel tired and groggy and you're ready for a nap after eating. But I tell you, if you do not eat and you just drink liquids, or don't drink not even liquids at all for a while, you'll see you're a lot more clear-minded, and your body is a lot more energetic, because the body is repairing itself. All right? Take care. Happy fasting.